Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Dota 2 Chinese qualifiers. Here in the group stage, we've got Newbee Miracle versus Invictus Gaming, a 2-game series to kick us off for a 4-game set of Chinese Dota. It's going to be an IG doubleheader, boys. First and foremost, they're obviously going here up against Newbee Miracle, but I am going to be looking forward to all the games they're going to be playing today, as not only this match, but they're going to be going up against CDEC immediately after the fact. So, four brilliant games from IG. Just got back from Star Ladder. It is 2 BOTs for them today, and it should be a fun time. So, looking at the draft already, starting things off here. Just checking my audio. There we go. Get some Dota 2 draft sounds in there. I missed the drums, but oh well. We're going to be seeing an active draft from Invictus Gaming. They are picking up the Storm Spirit, the Lion, the Nyx Assassin. These heroes bring damage, they bring disable, they bring pain. They really do. They are looking to get kills. So Storm Spirit, Lion, and Nyx Assassin, very powerful heroes in terms of range of initiation, in terms of the utility that they bring. There's a really good mix of control and damage, as well as a surprise attack between the Storm and the Nyx. So there's a big factor there of them just being involved, being active, but Newbee Miracle pick up some heavy nukers of their own. Queen of Pain, Lina, Spirit Breaker. These guys are going to be blinking, charging all across the map, looking for pickoffs. It looks like it is going to have to be a support Lina, though. I feel that Queen of Pain takes precedence and priority in farm, so Lina's probably going to have to fall back and play that support. Still pretty common in China, just because of the fact that you're able to use that attack range to your advantage, and even if you can't connect with the stun, you can still poke them back. Forgot to introduce myself. For those wondering, I myself am Blaze. Happy to be able to cover these games up for iLeague China. Been covering them for over a week now, and been really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun to see these guys in action. The secondary squads of different teams are actually really talented and have some really skilled players that have been playing throughout different teams. It's just now they actually get some formal roster, and they are finding some great success. So I would say Newbee Young is a little bit higher on my power chart than Newbee Miracle, but still Newbee Miracle are impressing. In the right situations, they find opportunities to make cool things happen, and I'm looking for the next big play. But over here on the bends, we did have Troll and Sniper taken out, as well as the Shadow Fiend and Bat Rider, followed up by the Bristleback Ancient Apparition and the Axe and Rubik. So, taking those heroes down, they don't want to have to deal with the tanky hero of the Bristleback or anything that will suppress healing. So maybe could go for like a Wisp last pick if you want the Juggernaut to really be enhanced. I mean, the healing, the overcharge, really good for him. But Healing Ward naturally is going to be very powerful. Still, it's pretty interesting to see the AA ban. It's kind of a high-tier pick, but in this case, Newbee's Miracle draft seems to be about taking the initiation to others, rather than getting it hit upon themselves. I guess it's scary to go up against Storm plus Nyx plus AA, just because of the fact that they'd be able to combo it up at very long range.
Earth Shaker.
Dire team pick.
Sorry about that, guys. Had a bit of a coughing fit there, so I'm caught in my throat. But now going back to it, we've got Sand King as the final ban, Earthshaker as one of the final picks, and then Morphling also taken off the table just in case they wanted to add that to their pool, I presume as a strength Morphling. It's hard to run PL plus Agi Morphling, but I have seen some teams try that, like very greedy Agi Tricore. But here we have it, Night Stalker as the last pick for Newbee Miracle. Hansu going to be running that as a support. 5400 going to be picking up the Lina. So Night Stalker, Lina, roaming supports, very active in the early game. You're going to see Spirit Breaker in the off lane, HGK take Queen of Pain to the mid lane, and Juggernaut will be played in the safe lane on the Dire side. On the other side, Invictus Gaming, here we have the most likely Storm Spirit mid, Lion, and I have seen Nyx's support, I have an Earthshaker support, so I'm curious the mentality between the two. I think Nyx's levels are a little bit more important than the Earthshakers, so I would say it's Lion and Earthshaker support with Nyx offlane, and then the Phantom Lancer obviously in the safe lane. But I mean, I could see it swapped around the Earthshaker and the Nyx Assassin. I prefer Nyx to C levels, and Luo seems to agree. He's going to pick it up for himself. So Earthshaker, it might block the lane for him once or twice to help him out, but mostly it's going to be the Nyx on the lane, and it's going to be important for him to be very involved. Just say, okay, well, Oh, we seem to have some lag or pause or something. I think I'm actually lagging out as far as Dota TV goes. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick reconnect while I talk about the draft a little bit more. And switch up my overlays. Good thing I remember that. So, anyways, as I was saying, yeah, it's essentially the Nyx Assassin is going to be able to provide really good ganking presence against heroes like Lina and Queen of Pain. They have very powerful AoE abilities, but Nyx Assassin will make it extremely likely that Spike Carapace inflicts them and reflects that damage back on them. So he's going to be able to get that extra stun against them, get that extra damage against them, and that in of itself is a really good thing because you can follow it up with the mana burn, drop down their health about halfway, and then you're going to be able to clean it up pretty easily with the rest of the heroes. But, of course, they still have to get the farm on the Phantom Lancer. Burning still has to do his thing, but I think he's favored in the matchup versus the Juggernaut. Juggernaut can go for something like a Battle Fury, maybe a Maelstrom Mjolnir, in order to try to deal with the the Phantom Lancer's kind of spread of illusions, but just in general, like early game Omni Slashes are just going to be soaked up by the illusions, and then later on, the big thing he can do is use Doppelganger right when the Omni Slash comes out and avoid it entirely. So he takes all the illusions away at that time. So we'll see that pause still going through. We're waiting for burning, and then we'll get underway. But just a quick introduction of the two sides, looking at no real starting items, but at least we get to see the names and the heroes. Cheesebug is going to be running on the Lion Faith on the Earthshaker, Ferrari 430 on the Storm Spirit. Birding will be picking up the Phantom Lancer, Luo C on the Nyx Assassin. 5400's the Lina, 8GK the Queen of Pain, Hansu or Cold Snap on the Night Stalker, and then I'm not so sure about green or brown, so I might just call them by their hero names. But no matter the case, this is going to be a interesting game. I mean, right now it really comes down to the Queen of Pain for me. If the Queen of Pain gets to snowball a lot and is able to not only address the storm threat, but to suppress the storm's progression, make sure he doesn't get a really fast Orchid or Bloodstone, and then take what she gets out of that lane and take it to the Phantom Lancer, I think she can do a lot. With an Aghanim Scepter or an Orchid, probably not an Orchid actually, since PL is going to go Manta and Diffusal anyways. So probably just like an Aghanim Scepter build. I think that maybe Ag's Shiva's even. I really feel that she can kind of control the Phantom Lancer. She can keep the illusions from spreading by killing them off very quickly with consistent AoE damage. And then she can kite him out with the Shiva Shadow Strike kind of play. That should work out pretty well in my mind. So a lot really relies on the mid lane going well for Newbee.M to be able to pull forward in this draft here. And I would have to say that the best thing that IG can do is really just keep rotating Faith to that safe lane. Stack up these Ancients so that the Storm Spirit can just use the Lightning Remnant and Overload to farm those out, and just otherwise sit in this general area so that the Queen of Pain doesn't get to find those opportunities where Spirit Breaker charges in and the Queen of Pain is able to make that gank coverage happen. So one big thing I want to be looking at is the Observer wards from the Radiant side towards the bottom rune area. Are they going to be warding up here, where you can often see a charge going down towards the mid lane? Is there another angle of attack the Spirit Breaker can find that will catch the Storm Spirit off guard? Because Storm Spirit, at only 290 movement speed, is very immobile. Really has a hard time moving about in the early stage of the game. Even boots won't help that much. And prior to level 6, he's very gankable from the Spirit Breaker. But generally speaking, supports will have good enough vision that you have to smoke a deceit your charges, and that's a hefty investment if it does fail. So we'll see. For right now, Obs wards are dropped on the ground. It looks like Cheesebug will go ahead and take care of those. And we're going to see the Bounty Rune go to Ferrari for 4 set of Tangos. And it looks like they'll do the same for 8GK. He does have 3 branches though, so sometimes you see a different term of progression for him. Other starting items, we got boots first on the Nyx, the Lion, and the Night Stalker. Otherwise, I'd say these are pretty well mirror matchups here. Juggernaut opts for the Stout Shield, whereas the Phantom Lancer does not. But that's not too much of a difference in my mind. It's just a extra set of tangos for the PL, and he doesn't have that Stout Shield block. Not that he's going to get harassed too heavily by this Spear Breaker, I don't think. But yeah, I've always found it interesting. HEK gets his bounty rune, and then he doesn't buy tangos with it. Everybody else does this in the mid lane. They get their double pool tangos, and then they get 4 more. It looks like HEK kind of wants to just try to go for the bottle, and if he has to trade hits, then he'll go ahead and build up towards the extra set of tangos instead. Cheesebug trading out pretty nicely here. Earth Spikes and Spirit Lances thrown out at the Spirit Breaker, but realistically, nobody should die if they're playing their cards right. I mean, there is a chance the Nyx Assassin will, but Spike Earth is such a good defensive spell, and you look at his natural HP regen. Just with tangos, he's up to 10.2 base HP regen, just because he's about 10 times better naturally at level 1 in terms of regenerating his HP than other heroes. Still, Spearbreaker's going to start bullying his way into the lane, getting himself to at least level 2. Urshaker's going to go for the double pull. Faith denying some good experience, but, oh, I've never seen that move where you actually block the neutrals on the Fisher, too. I guess you can do that, though. We're going to see Cheesebug eat a charge. Not much value in that, though. So, I'm looking for the first rotation of the game towards the mid lane. The side lanes are going to be pretty safe for the off laners. Not, like, extremely. There's going to be times where Spearbreaker is zoned out completely of experience range and he can't find anything. But I don't think he's going to die unless he makes a mistake. So it really comes down to where he wants to charge from. And as I was saying, that bottom rune area is an important thing for the Radiant to cover, and they don't have anything there. So you see this ward, it'll keep the Spirit Breaker under wraps, but it will not necessarily show when he rotates towards mid. Nyx Assassin going way too far forward. Queen of Pain actually takes his bits too. But yeah, Nyx Assassin was all the way up here, trying to get something from the side shop it looked like, but I don't know. He's going to go down. Gets caught out. Just a Light Shaker, a Void. Pretty simple kill for them. Ace Earth Shaker gets a Fisher. Just needs one right click to bring down HEK, but the tower brings Ferrari low. So not exactly the exchange they're looking for. So, level 1, Spirit Breaker makes his way back down bottom, and he's going to be punished immediately. Cheesebug's right back there. There's the Spirit Lance. There's the Air Spike, and wow, it looks like he's just walking into the lane. He's going to try to go for the charge, but the Chainsaw comes out from Cheesebug. He doesn't get the opportunity. So, both offlaners feeding pretty deep, and we're just going to have to see them play a little bit more reserved. That's pretty much just completely unforced errors, but they're pretty desperate for experience right now. I mean, I was looking at the Spirit Breaker because he only just now hit level 2. But Nyx isn't doing that hot either. Level 3 is not where he wants to be right now. The Nyx, again, is pretty experience dependent. Wants to build up, at the very least, maxing out his Impale, but preferably getting a max in his Carapace next. And that's not going to happen if he's just getting killed off. And pretty soon, the supports can roam away, and the Juggernaut can solo kill this Nyx Assassin. With things like Blade Fury and Spin, Nyx isn't as survivable directly against the Juggernaut, just because of the aspect of Spike Carapace not reflecting that. Storm Spirit, though, rapidly approaching level 6. It's pretty much weathering that storm period of the first 5 levels so that they can pull forward with something big later on. And Faith getting him the coverage he needs to make sure he gets that ultimate, and after that they can kind of say you're on your own. The only thing he's going to die to anyways is a Crippling Fear from the Night Stalker, and most Night Stalkers don't skill that up until like level 7, level 8. So, we're going to see an Invis Rune kind of negated here, possibly? No, they're actually going to go for the charge here, and yeah, Faith should be the second blood for Newbee.M. Finds a nice opportunity here, and they're just going to be able to slow him down, and the last dot tech will finish the job. So, Invis Rune is going to be picked up, bottled for the Queen of Pain, and that's a nice kill on the support. Of course, ideally it would have been on Ferrari who was going for that rune, but Faith gives him kind of that buffer coverage. Bluo dueling with Brown under the tower. Essentially, the Juggernaut can man up in situations where he knows the Nyx is going to be locked down. The Blade Fury, the Phase Boots movement speed advantage. This is going to be times where he can just spin to win right on top of him. But of course, does have to worry about the tower damage. Physical damage is still a big deal, even if he doesn't have to be worried about getting stunned by the Carapace. Cold snap. Hansu making his rotation around. Is he looking for a courier snipe? That's so difficult to flying. After the 3-minute mark, it's going to be a flying courier. Here at 5, it seems pretty ridiculous. Either that or he's trying to pretend to put a ward down, which is definitely possible. I've seen it before. Some mind games possibly trying to show yourself in that position, but I don't really know if it's all that valuable of a move. Especially here lurking in the shadows at nighttime. He's not looking to tower dive just yet. They're talking about it, communicating it, but in the end, not really finding anything just yet. As far as early last hits, we see 35 and 11 for the Juggernaut, 34 and 17 for Burning. Really good deny count for him. But on the mid lane, it's fairly even with just a few denies in favor of 8GK. So I really am still just looking at the experience per minute of the offlaners. Okay, Hansu caught out. He was looking to go for a deep ward, and he got it, but at the cost of his life. And I believe they're just going to de-ward that. They were walking right into him, so that shouldn't last too much longer. But yeah, the Spearbreaker here is at level 3. 201 is his preferred build. And then, of course, looking at the Nyx Assassin, he's gotten himself to level 5. So doing a little bit better with the 1v1 time he's got with the Juggernaut, while the Lina focuses on her own farm. Like, a lot of time you'll see the support stacking up for the mid laner at this point. Quinn can farm those creep stacks pretty well, but 5400, he really wants to get off the ground. Maybe just get some Tranquil Boots out and get active on the map. HEK walks past the tower here. Yeah, they're pinging it out. They do see it. If you go right past this gap, they are going to be able to at least see you in invis, even though the tower won't hit you. So they know that rotation's heading bottom, and they should be able to play just far enough forward that Burning acts like he doesn't know about this threat, but then he's going to back off at the right time. So we're going to see actually a quick lucky bash come through HEK, looking for the Sonic Wave combo. Burning has Doppelwalk. We'll see if it's going to be enough to get him away. This still is pretty dangerous, but yeah, now he starts to back off right at the perfect time. And yeah, that's how you do it, is essentially you still force them to waste their time, but you also play passively enough that they can't possibly go for the kill. So a kind of tense moment between the two down bottom, but Burning knew what was going on all along, and that works out in their favor. Still looking for the big fight to come out. So far, just minimal pickoffs, but we're going to see a nice Fisher come through at the very least. And Kansu is going to be caught down. Nice stuns coming through. Ferrari dodges the Shadow Strike and will be fine. So hasted Quinn will speed herself away, but Night Stalker goes down once again. So second death for him. One death for the Earthshaker and the Nyx on the other side. And then, of course, the Spirit Breaker that we saw on camera. Quinn jumping in pretty aggressively here. This is very surprising to me. Chain stuns out the wazoo. HEK hasting away. He thinks the haste rune's a god rune. It actually ends up showing him his own mortality as he goes down. Just thought the haste would be enough to get him away, but that was far from the truth. Now behind enemy lines, Spirit Breaker trying to make something happen. The Impale will miss, but now he Spirit Lands and he's about to run out of Empowering Haste. So now he can be body blocked. Faith, there is no enchant totem, so they're just going to charge him away. But man, a very aggressive stance for Newbee.M, and it doesn't really seem to be working out for them. I mean, they're not really finding the kills they need. They do get the Lion, but now they're going to lose the Spirit Breaker to a long ball forward from Ferrari. He is going to be caught out a little bit here. Now in a position where he needs reinforcements. There is no Fisher to come and help him, and I think that might mean he's going down. There's the Sonic Wave to make sure of it, and the Omni Slash is available against Luo. Going to be able to spin right after the Omni Slash, doesn't right-click after that hit, and that is important since he's able to get a kill as a result. Queen of Pain snatching it up with that blink and Scream of Pain. Burning back down bottom, just kind of farming passively, pushing on the tower, but he's not going to get much time to do that with the Spirit Breaker charging right back in. Going for 2-1-2, and now looking for his ultimate. He's going to be in full gank mode in just 300 experience. But Burning trying to put him in his place, just giving him quite a few hits here. Stout Shield certainly helps, but it's not going to be the only thing that heads the way of the Spirit Breaker in terms of damage. So we're going to be seeing PL put out some nice pressure here on the bottom lane, continue to force that. Juggernaut not really emphasizing push so much as farm. We just get to see him rotate into the jungle. He's going to go ahead and clear out creep wave after creep wave camps in the jungle. And Lina gets to pick up an item as a result. So we'll see if she goes for the Void Stone to go into that Yule Scepter. And she does. HEK, though, in a really bad spot here. Vendetta gank coming through. They get the hit, they get the damage, and they get the stuns. It's just really a great lineup for killing a Queen of Pain, to be honest. Like, they have so many stuns between all of them. The Vortex hasn't even been skilled up, and she still can't get a blink off. Like, they have a great mix of damage and disable, and it's particularly strong at this point in the game. Later on, it'll still have its strengths, but oh my gosh, when that ultimate comes out for the Lion, you can really see what they can do. I mean, obviously, that's a long cooldown. That's going to be down for another 150, but it is just a lot of map dominance coming in from IG, and yeah, we need to see some tower pressure, so Juggernaut rotates back to the lane. Lina, over here, got a little bit of time to farm, but she's got a counter push while the Juggernaut creates space elsewhere. Ferrari just going to go ahead and farm himself up, and he looks to be looking for a Yule Scepter as his next pickup. A good way to respond to the Lina ganks. When you get Yules and you're about to get hit by a Light Strike Ray, all you have to do is just Yules yourself, and you'll be in a better spot. And Queen of Pain is still going to be going for the Orchid here. Very interesting. I'm not so sure about this decision. With the Storm Spirit going to have a Yules before the Orchid comes out, the PL probably going to have at least a Diffusal Blade before it comes out. The Orchid is really just going to be for killing supports. I'm worried that that item's not going to do too much for HGK. It's still a good momentum item. It's great for damage.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I would love to say that was intentional, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like it was just trying to kite the Hellbear at max range, and then he went down. Yeah, he didn't buy anything right before he died, so a little bit awkward. We're gonna see a smoke gate come through. Ferrari immediate ball away, gonna be able to get distance enough that the Impale does its job, but Spearbreaker charging forward. It looks like at least one hero should go down here. Vendetta, do they have detection? Oh, they just silence her with the cripple. So Nyx Assassin will be caught out. And we do see just more push continuing down bottom. So 5,400, again, counter pushing as best he can, but one Fissure, and he actually might be caught out. Just need one Fissure into one Spirit Lance. Yeah, he is going to be in a really bad way now. Spirit Lance, very short cooldown, and there it is to get the kill. We're going to see Night Stalker rotate, but a little bit too late to save an ally. It's going to be Juggernaut that goes in for the blood, but Doppelganger's here. They have to cripple him before the Doppel, and no, he gets out. And he is actually juking them! He's pretending to be the fake illusion! Oh my! He's running away with the actual illusion, so they chase that. And then he jukes them with the one that they presume to be fake. Oh, that is just a really awesome play from Burning. Juke City from him. That's just awesome. Oh, man. Well, the strength of the Phantom Lancer is creating chaos, just really making it difficult to know what is real. Is this real life? Is this just fantasy? Burning makes you question your own system of beliefs, but he's going to go for the early drums of endurance and treads. I see this very commonly for Chinese Phantom Lancers, and then he will be going to the Diffusal Blade immediately after the fact. A good mix of stats here for him. Oh, he's still hiding out here. Faith does. Oh, this Flying Courier is going to scout him out. That is unfortunate for Faith. He was just about to get mana for that TP home, and instead, going to be going down. He will buy his Soul Ring components. He won't lose anything here, but yeah, he was so close to getting out scot-free after that position. He uses last bit of mana, the Fissure, to save PL, and it was really good and an awesome play. But in the end, he does go down. He's going to be working towards his Blink Dagger next. Really nothing else he'd want. And the Yule Scepter going to be coming out right about now for Ferrari. So in a great spot item-wise. He doesn't have to worry about the Crippling Fear or the Orchid from the Queen of Pain or even the Yule's Initiation from Lina. He can just kind of dodge all of that with that self-Yules. And we're going to see Hansu try to get the Cripple again onto Burning, but he's still running. Doesn't pop the drums just yet. And he is getting slowed down heavily. In fact, he just can't pop anything here. He's going to be caught out. And that is going to be a very nice kill. They've been looking for that one for a while. It's actually Burning's first death, despite, I would say, about 4 attempts on his life this game. So, he's a slippery fellow, but he can't escape everything, and we see that here. Either way, they're going to look to counter push on the top lane. Oh, they don't have Glyph anymore. That's already gone. Tier 1 tower down up on the top lane is completely taken care of. And down bottom, Lewis just trying to farm up that Blink Dagger. Missing some last hits. In mid here, Ferrari is going to be able to clean up the Queen of Pain. Just a good jump in with the Haste Rune, and And now they're going to actually probably catch out the Spirit Breaker. This is a really rough position for him to be in. They will be able to fisher him out, but it looks like they're afraid of reinforcements. Radiant Vision is pretty lackluster. They didn't see beyond that line until just this moment. But we do see Luo trying to finish off this tower. This is a tough one to find. He's got the Vendetta up, but he's being charged, and Hansu's just going to look for the deny. That is something they probably should have left to another hero. Nyx Assassin is really bad at last hitting towers. 70 base damage. His real damage comes from Vendetta, and that's only going to work against units. So the tower, last hit, doesn't come through on the bottom lane, but it does for burning on the mid. Dual pressure, 1.5 towers claimed. And just pulling forward as a whole. Hansu is going to go for Dust and Ogre Club. Dust, I guess, for the Nyx Assassin disengage. There's not really much. If they see, like on a Sentry Ward, Nyx walking by, they can also initiate with Dust, but generally speaking, he's going to be the one that opens up on you. So, the only time Dust of Appearance is really good against Nyx Assassin is actually when he's in the fight, and then he tries to leave with Vendetta. Back over to net worth, we see that it is going to be Brown leading at 7,500, and shortly behind him is the Storm Spirit and the Phantom Lancer. Gonna see a smoke gang come through, times 3. Storm Spirit, Lion with no blink. He really wants to build himself up towards it with their next play. Radiant Observer Ward sees 2, and they're going to go in. They should be able to get at least 1 here. Juggernaut going to get pulled in. They will chain up the Hex. There's going to be a good kill, but there's no mana left on Cheesebug, so they're going to have to Echo Slam to disengage, and still, Faith will be caught out. He'll go down, burning now on the front line here, and just moving forward, getting a nice jump, and getting the kill on the Spirit Breaker. Now looking for more. Everybody's blinking away, everybody's disengaging, but still, Juggernaut as well as Spirit Breaker go down, and the Dust of Appearance was put out in that fight, but Nyx was mid. So either he doesn't know how there's 2 possibilities here. Either Hansu does not know that Phantom Lancer was reworked and that he can't invis anymore, or he thought that Luo was lurking in the shadows nearby and he wanted to prevent him from getting off his initiation. It's hard to say exactly. Getting into his head, it's one of the 2. I'm assuming, as a professional, he knows about the PL stuff, so he's probably just thinking ahead about that Nyx Assassin, making sure that he doesn't get what he wants out of the fight, the positioning to get that big impale out of Invis. Other than that, pretty back and forth game. Just minor ganks, no full 5-on-5, no team wipes just yet, but at some point, teams are going to start committing. I mean, right now we got the Blink Dagger coming out on Lion. He's been playing pretty reserved until that point. Like, he just stays back, throws out all of his spells, and then runs away as quick as he can. Like, he doesn't really want to stick to the fight. But with the Blink Dagger, he can play a little bit differently here, and he's going to probably be more involved. I mean, if you sacrifice yourself 10 times as a Lion, as long as you got your Blink Dagger initially, and you're making positive trades for your team, it doesn't matter. Burning will pick up his Diffusal Blade too, so yeah, a lot of good stuff coming online for IG. They can play this a little slow if they want to, but I don't see any reason why not to take the fight to the enemy. With the Blink Dagger here on the Lion, with the Diffusal Blade up on PL, and Drum and Aquila and all that good stuff, they're really ready to take the fight. They are 1,700, or actually a little bit more with the recipe. So they're about like 2,500 gold away from the Bloodstone for Ferrari. That's probably the last thing they really need to push forward, because then you're actually able to get Bloodstone charges on top of kills. But generally speaking, I feel like they could just go for any pick-off they see in an opportune moment, and it looks like it's going to be on the Spirit Breaker here. They're just going to be able to get the Fisher, Earth Spike, and that's going to be plenty for the kill. He's just very far forward there, has absolutely no vision to the west. Like, this is completely blind starting here, and that was very, very far forward given the circumstances. Maybe he thought they were smoke ganking somewhere else, but that just seems like something they weren't planning for, so maybe just a misplay. It's going to be a Battle Fairy build for the Juggernaut. Gradual build up, but he will find it. Gonna just need the Void Stone to finish that one out, and he'll get that here. So, just allowing him to do that much more damage in the fights. There's no other summoners, there's no Chens or Beastmasters or anything, but the Phantom Lancer illusions themselves make it a reasonable enough move, but you still need to kind of use it for farm as well. And there, it's gonna be completed. Eul Scepter is still nowhere near finished for the Lina. In fact, she hasn't farmed since I last checked on her. Like, I was watching her in the laning phase, and she actually got some decent time to farm. She got a nice little opportunity where she was able to get some good last hits, build up a Void Stone, and then since then, she's gotten absolutely nothing and died twice. But we will see Lion blink away. Hex will not come in time with that turn rate, but they're still going to be able to chain stun on a Spirit Breaker. A lot of cooldowns exhausted, though, and HEK just goes in. Nice. Spike Carapace coming in for the Nyx Assassin. Storm Spirit trying to jump away. A lot of places he can go. Over the cliff. Sounds pretty good, but he's caught out in the silence, and he's not going to get out in time. They Omni Slash to make sure of that fact, and now go for the spin TP away. Panic Dust on the run. It is going to be the stun to catch him out, though. Nice Fisher from long range from Faith. And even the Hunter in the night won't speed him away in this situation. So, interesting engagement overall. Let's look at that fight recap as we do see 4 going down. 700 gold goes the way of Juggernaut. I think he got 2 kills out of that. But, yeah, or actually, no, it's only the Storm going down. But the Storm is still very farmed, so he still gets a nice chunk of change there, ending that streak. Mega kill for Juggernaut. Even still, though, I feel like they committed pretty hard for that Lion all the way up to the tower where reinforcements were bound to be. The best thing, though, was that Spike Carapace. It reflected 2 major spells. Luo took no damage, and Queen of Pain lost a huge chunk of health. That health that she can't really spare. She's only has 1,000 HP herself, so has to be very wary. We're going to see double damage Juggernaut. Not going for the Roshan, though. I mean, it's dangerous just based on the fact that they don't have any sentries in the area. Vendetta can just be waiting inside the pit. But if they move together, they can kind of scout that out. So I think Juggernaut still wants to make his way to Roche. It's just going to be other people scouting out with the Smoke of Deceit. If the smoke breaks, they know somebody's invis there, and that's when you can kind of go for your Tripwire or Dust. That double damage rune and some good crits coming out on Roche, bringing him down pretty quickly, and they get the flank to gank on Burning here. Doppel is off cooldown. Has to defusal himself, doesn't get the chance. Too much nuke damage from that Laguna Blade. Great combo coming in. The Queen of Pain and Lina. They will secure Roshan. They will kill off the enemy carry. That is just a great exchange for them. Easily worth the Smoke of Deceit. Very nice movement. So momentum given back to Newbee a little bit here. They're going to bring it down maybe to about 3,000 there on the gold. And they're going to get Darkness out so they can keep the gank trend rolling. If you look, like Nyx Assassin, he may be lurking in the shadows, but with Darkness, he barely sees in front of his face. Might be able to sense that something bad is heading his way, but at least for now, he's just walking into the Sentry Ward. They're going to silence him. Can they get the stun, though? They needed something more, as there is a Blink Dagger now on Luo, and he just jumps out. That was close. I think the Queen of Pain, just trying to keep on the Sentry Ward, just went for the Orchid and Shadow Strike, but Shadow Strike has a projectile, whereas the Scream of Pain is technically projectile, but near instantaneous. It's based on Fan of Knives, so I actually don't even think you can call it a projectile. Quill Spray for those that are not into the Dota 1 jargon, but we've got some jumping. Ferrari doesn't find either, though. Doesn't really fully commit to it, and yeah, they're just going to force the Beck, hurting them into this ward, so now they know what's on the map. Darkness has expired, at least for now. And it looks like that'll be the last Darkness this night, but he's going to look to use it sometime during the day to give them that team fight advantage, give them those nighttime attributes. In the meantime, he's working towards that Aghanim Scepter, and that's going to be a real game changer, actually. Any other items that are going to be coming online around that time? Not really. The Queen of Pain might find a BKB or an Axe for herself. The Lina should find a Eul's, and that's about it. But now we're going to see just Vendetta and Impale blink it away. Very cheeky stance from Luo. Could be punished pretty heavily with quick response, but it doesn't really matter in the end. They take the tower, and actually are going to catch out the Storm Spirit. He tries to go for the self-Eul's to get away, but just doesn't get the time. So right now, Newbee have just started putting on the full aggression here. This is really where their lineup hits their stride. Newbee.M have a very mid-game oriented draft, and they're really able to do a lot of aggressive things. Get Roshan, go for ganks, take towers. They especially when Juggernaut hits 16, this is pretty much where the lineup will spike in its peak potential comparatively to IG. So IG so far have been kind of running around them, using their superior mobility tools to engage very intelligently, but here we're going to see this movement up against the Spirit Breaker, and it looks like he's going down. Like, he has no mana to TP away, and he is just going to get caught out really hard by the combo here from the Nyx Assassin. So, going to be finished off, no problem at all, and that's going to give a little bit more tempo to IG to kind of hold the line while Juggernaut is, you know, being as fierce as possible. Within the next 2 minutes, Juggernaut's losing his Aegis. So if they could do anything to wait out that time period, that's going to be essential. Because that right now, even level 15 Omnislash is very scary. But level 16 is going to be when he's just tearing through people. In the meantime, you do have this Night Stalker approaching that Ag Scepter, so I will talk about that a little bit. At nighttime, he's going to get this kind of map hack-esque clear vision, where he's just going to be able to see anything around him lurking in the shadows. So essentially, he just turns his 1800 vision that he already has at nighttime and takes it to the skies. He sees over the trees and that kind of stuff. So the benefit of that is pretty clear. He's able to see those ganks coming. He's able to see map movement. The only way that IG can engage is at very long range. They go in with Ball Lightning deep. They go in with very long range Blink Fissures, that kind of stuff. Because otherwise, Newbee will see it coming and react to it before IG can do anything.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Geometry Sight likely to be paired with the Aghanim Scepter very commonly, and once he has both, the Nyx Assassin's gank potential is very weak too. He essentially has to play like a lion without a Hex, which kind of sucks. Still, yeah, dramatically approaching the neutralizing the golden experience advantage for IG. Newbee.M have brought this game back from the brink, but as far as late game scaling, I still have to give it to Burning's Phantom Lancer. He's been farming up quite well. He's at 12.1k. He's not as big as a Juggernaut right now, but as a whole, like, I feel like their lineup can take it later. They can do more in the late game. It really comes down to initiation and disables, but right now I feel like the Queen of Pain is just really far behind the Storm Spirit. It may only equate to about 1,200 gold, but the difference in these two heroes, I feel, is substantial. I mean, the BKB Orchid, Queen of Pain's just looking to get in, silence the support, and try to negate everything the Nyx is throwing at him. But the Storm Spirit, he's able to do a lot right now. Just the way we see Ferrari play the Storm, he has a lot of potential to avoid different things, Omnislash, any kind of chain stun coming out from Newbee. It's just, essentially, he can break down that chain of initiation really nicely. But let's look at Dire Vision real quick and see that Geometry Sight plus the Void Vision, they don't see the smoked heroes. This is a big deal. Smoke Engage going to be right here, onto 2. Big damage coming out, taking out Queen of Pain and Juggernaut immediately. They're also going to be able to Hex up Spirit Breaker and bring him down. Night Stalker gave what they thought was good vision. They're like, okay, Burning is solo defending, hiding under the tower, and then suddenly, out of the smoke, pops the Blink Dagger of the Earthshaker. I'm not sure if they really knew that they were being watched, and that vision gave them the intel to make that surprise attack, but really, the most important thing is that they were able to just catch 2 off guard with that great Echo Slam initiation Faith already with the Blink Dagger. And this is just like Newbee.M are kind of, during nighttime, during natural nighttime, uncertain about their next move, and that's not a good thing. They're going to get some easy rewards out. Gem plus the Aghanim Scepter makes that a nice move, but they're actually going to try to take this gem from him, getting 1 stun here onto Hansu. He's got a lot of HP to chew through. They don't have the Finger of Death. They need to mana drain him to get that finger, and they will get that kill. Gem of True Sight in the hands of Cheesebug, and he is being charged. He is actually going to D-ward against, and the charge canceled. He's actually going to be able to take this gem home with him.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So, Juggernaut, right now, he's got his Manta-style Battle Fury. He's got his level 16. This is where he really wants to be on this hero. He's top of the net worth, and he's pretty much exactly at his highest potential in this game, I would say. He can still progress, of course, towards Scotty, Satanic, Butterfly, MKB maybe, if Burning forces it. But, and Abyssal Blade is obviously a pretty common core now. But no matter the case, it's him. As far as his relative power to everybody of IG, this is as good as it gets. He can maybe go for a BKB next, I think, because you don't really want to be spinning in the fights. You want to be just right-clicking, and he's got all his right-click items now. So I could see him go for the BKB next, and he'd be in a great spot where IG couldn't touch him. That's kind of what I'm thinking about the Queen of Pain's BKB is, although it's not the most active item, like compared to like the Aghanim Scepter, as far as getting the damage out in the fights and consistently, I do think that there's a lot of merit to just being invulnerable for 10 seconds to so much of IG's stuff. I mean, the Earthshaker, Lion, and Nyx Assassin are all rendered completely irrelevant with those BKBs. And Storm Spirit's not really a big deal either. Doppelganger out, Burning gonna get caught, Faith going down too. He can't help out Burning, can't fish her back, and they are gonna be able to bring down both of them with the Omni Slash, Sonic Wave. So they're gonna take that advantage and push into the tier 2, but I'm not sure if they can break high ground off that. I think they want to force Burning's buyback and disengage. But if they get caught by a lingering stun, they're going to be locked into that base. And that makes it a dangerous move. But they have that Aghanim Scepter vision. They know what's waiting for them at the high ground. And they're not going to hesitate as they move forward. So we'll see if there is going to be that good combo stun. They can go buyback immediately on Burning and TP him to the front lines. There is no ultimates, but there's also no life left on IG. They're all buying back, but they just can't do enough. Ferrari goes forward with the TP, balls onto Brown, but he's going to Manta, he's going to spin away, and he's going to TP home. He's fine. Now we see Lil getting charged on. It's going to be TP away again from the Spirit Breaker, but this time it gets Yuled. So he goes down, but they forced out 2 buybacks. They got a ton of good kills. Newbee finding so much out of that situation. It wasn't even just the first fight that they won. They absolutely won that second one there. As they kill off the Storm Spirit, immediately force the buyback from him. He ends up losing 1,150 gold and some Bloodstone charges. And just overall, they walk away happy. That was really solid from Newbee. The disengage was clean, the spin TP, everything he needs. And suddenly Juggernaut almost has his BKB. So he can commit so hard to these fights. He can get involved and he has no disables to worry about. 3 heroes rendered irrelevant, 2 heroes rendered pretty a bit weaker. Gonna see a catch out here that is just the Aghanim Scepter vision coming into play. They essentially see the Nyx Assassin with the Aghanims, and they're able to pick him off before he can really do anything. So, thought he was sneaky, but the Vendetta doesn't last that long relative to the cooldown with only level 2. If the Nyx was level 16, that'd be a different situation, but as it is, it's just only 35 seconds. And Darkness will extend the night again, I believe, here. Cold Snap, yep. It turns to daytime, immediately snaps it back to night, and they're going to go for the rush here and now. Pretty easy for them. The gem should still be in IG's hands. It looks like it might have been on the courier. Yeah, at the time, they didn't lose it when the Lion went down. But... and then, okay, interesting. Doing a little bit of gem scouting here from Cheesebug, but... yeah, they still have it, and that's good because they don't want the Night Stalker to have it. But all the same... Roshan goes to the side of the Dire.
Dire's top tower is
Storm Spirit farming pretty aggressively in the jungle here. Doesn't really want to cross paths with somebody bad, but it looks like they're going to take the fight to them. 5400 going down quick, but Omni Slash is ready. He needs to find a real target. Faith is going to try to go for the TP, and Yule Scepter cancels it out. The Sonic Wave isn't fast enough, and Faith gets home. He is able to slip away thanks to the help of Ferrari 430 with the Yules, but unfortunately, he gets caught out. Because he doesn't have the Yules for himself, the Orchid from the Queen of Pain actually does some real work there, and he's silenced. He can't get away. If he balled immediately, I think he gets the distance, but it's hard with that mana pool. So he ends up suiciding while saving the Shaker's life. Sad day for him in particular, because, I mean, that would have been really a big win if they waste the Sonic Wave. That's a 135-second cooldown, but, Spirit Breaker, Dire Sentry, no Radiant, Gem of True Sight, not here, so Spirit Breaker charges away. And it's a back and forth game, guys. It really is. I mean, I would have to say that both teams have some really good late game presence, especially now the Night Stalker is kind of running around with the Aga, and he's going to look for the gem in 2.5 minutes. I would have to say that both teams have some really good potential here, but we're still looking for Ferrari to finish that last item. With that buyback and with those back-to-back deaths, he's actually had a pretty tough time building up to his next real thing. He's picked up a gem for himself, though, so it looks like no more death for him. He's looking to be active, be involved. And it looks like he'll miss this Observer Ward, unfortunately. He's going to move to towards the Ancients, towards the Secret Shop, and actually go for a jump here just to clear our creep, scaring off the Spirit Breaker in the process. And that's going to be enough to get his Shiva's guard. So, not too bad. Again, it delayed it a decent bit, but he still ends up getting his next item. And the Shivas is going to do some good work. The aura is frustrating for the Juggernaut, as well as the Spirit Breaker. Less slashes, attacks during Omni Slash, as well as less bashes coming out from him. The Queen of Pain, the Night Stalker, they have pretty good attack speed naturally. They don't really care too much about it. And even the Fire Soul. So it's more about the damage and the mana and the armor. Just physical mitigation, survivability overall for Ferrari here. Clear Vision's nice too. Smoking. Going for kind of a little bit of fake back here. The Night Stalker can just sit out here, see what's going on inside the base, and look for that grab. But it's going to be burning the... Oh, Ferrari breaks the smoke farming for creeps, immediately balls out, and they don't get anything out of it. All of the information is now revealed, and Newbee.M's smoke fails. That was just really smart. Great play from him, and now the Veil of Nighttime does dissipate. That was only a level 2 darkness instead of level 3, so... It's not going to be off cooldown for another 60 seconds.
Face sustains, gold remains.
Phantom Lancer building himself up pretty well. Manta style, Diffusal, now going for, it looks like a harder Trask. Sometimes you opt for the Satanic, but Burning, he never went for a lifesteal item in the first place, so it doesn't seem like he really prioritizes that form of sustainability. And doesn't expect to get that many right clicks off. So harder Trask it is. The illusions are going to be harder to deal with, especially since that Queen of Pain did not go for Aghanim Scepter. So we're seeing the Nyx just stalk things up. He can do this because there is no enemy gem, but still has to be a little bit wary here. His Vendetta going to expire. And when it does, he has to assume they can see him, because you just look at this Night Stalker. He sees everything here, guys. Like, this is just a giant mobile ward. You can see on the minimap, you can see it here. He looks around, he sees everything in his vicinity. Nighttime is my time, as the Night Stalker would say. The Geometry Sight now connects. The Geometry Sight vision isn't as big of a radius as the Night Stalker's True Vision or Clear Vision. Essentially, he sees at 1800 in a big circle around him, but he only detects in an 1100 circle around him. So just above half of that radius. But they're going to go for, it looks like, another group up. Trying to push out top, trying to find a way to surprise Burning here. Waiting Invis, wanting to know the real illusion, but Sonic Wave is a pretty hard spell to use originally. So they're all Invis, they're all waiting. Double Invis attack, and Burning is going to doppel immediately. They will be able to find the real one now, bashing him down, killing him off, and the response from IG is non-existent. Luo can't even find out Juggernaut. He's going to fall back here. They know that that's their weak point right here, as they lost Burning up top. They're going to make a move elsewhere, and Brown's just going to play it safe with the illusions, farming at the waves. So Burning getting picked off at critical times here has a lot of different ways to escape, but any stun connecting, any hard disable, and he can't do enough. This is actually a really close game. I actually have to say the Newbee.M feel like they're playing this mid to late game a little bit more smoothly. They are executing well at finding the pickoffs that they need and taking those big objectives. As far as like heroes scaling and team fight potential, I think everybody has their own way to contribute to it. And I like that the charge is connected on Faith still. It means they have vision of when he's moving in for the Blink Echo, and they can just immediately Yules him via Lina. But no, it's a little late with that Yules. Either way, it's going to be Juggernaut going down. Oh no! Going to see very quickly the Earthshaker goes down thanks to that Laguna Blade. But Ferrari's going to have to fall back here as he's completely out of mana. So essentially, as I was saying, the Spirit Breaker had charge vision of the Earthshaker. They see him walking forward. All Lina has to do from this spot here is just go in for the quick Yules. But she was just a little bit slow on it, and the Earthshaker Echo slams and then gets tornadoed, which defeats the entire purpose. So the Juggernaut still goes down. What they were trying to prevent does not work out for them. There is actually going to be Nyx Assassin picking off the Queen of Pain too. Just the quick mana burn blink out. She was very low. That was 982 damage with the full combo. Just Vendetta, Impale, and Mana Burn stings like a bitch when you have this much intelligence. I mean, looking at it, she has about 112 intelligence right now. So multiply that by 5, and you've got a lot of magical damage. Still going to try to take control of the map back here thanks to this Gem of True Sight. These static remnants give clear vision as well, so they can see at the top of this cliff. And charging forward, a small army of phantoms. Lancing it up, taking down the tier 2, and considering when Roshan will spawn, I think they're going to start scouting that out pretty actively soon. Observer wards are not in play for IG though. This is one big problem they have. They placed one here several minutes ago, but otherwise they're just trying to wait out the restock. They've placed so many wards in the past, and so many of them have been dewarded by the Night Stalker with his gem, that now IG have only one ward, and a measly one at that, on the map. They would love to have used the time where they were kind of all out here dewarding. They would have loved to use that time to actually place some good wards themselves, but hard to do, hard to find the opportunity, and now they will have to just kind of fall back and turtle without too much vision, especially when that darkness comes into play. I don't think that the Night Stalker is going to be popping it until the last 50 seconds of this daytime, so probably around the 43-10 mark, I guess, is what he's looking for. And that gives, of course, IG a window of opportunity where they can start moving about more safely. They know that this is going to be daytime for about 2 more minutes, unless the fight is forced. Then darkness is going to come out immediately. But we're going to see that Hex completed. Queen of Pain now looking like a perfect mana burn target. Man, she's got a BKB that nicks every fight, or that mana burn is just going to chew through her. So much intelligence, so much to burn. And this Nyx Assassin has proved to be a pretty powerful pick. Hasn't really defined the game as far as how well he's able to gank and isolate targets and control the jungle. He hasn't burned that much detection from Newbee supports, I would say, but he is really good against Queen of Pain here with that mana burn, and he has been controlling the fights decently well. But Spirit Breaker doesn't charge Shadow Blade. He Shadow Blades and is just hanging out. So I'm not sure if there's an angle of attack here for IG. If they go up that high ground, they are probably going to get just stomped on. They're going to walk in, breaking the smoke immediately. Cheesebug, where's that quick blink out? Yeah, there it is. And Ferrari on the back line is now looking for some good kills. All of it's going to happen over here. Look at this Fisher! Juggernaut's not even in the fight! He's isolated from the fight entirely. They will nuke down a couple of heroes, but HGK goes down. He's a critical kill. Juggernaut now going to be hexed up like a little fishy and going down. Faith with the plays, the Fisher locking him down. Hansu will be able to get the TP away at just the last second. But my, oh my, what a Fisher from Faith. They lose only the Nyx Assassin. He buys back immediately and gets back into the fight, and they wipe out 4 here. That Fisher was absolutely incredible. And it's just completely locked down Newbee. They were just scattered when that smoke broke out, and they wanted to chase the easiest target, who was the Lion. But when he blinked back, he became the trap that Juggernaut fell into, and Faith was able to completely break that fight apart. That was a textbook example of how you can control positioning in choke points as an Earthshaker. That was just amazing. And now they take the mid tier 3, the Rax. They take the bottom tier 2. Man, I just want to go back to that. That was so gorgeous. That, I mean, you just can't do anything about that. Everybody's over here. You have 5 or 6 heroes fighting over there, all the core ones. Burning had jumped over there already. A Storm Spirit obviously went from a position over here and balled across with the Shivas. They just had everything they wanted over on that eastern part of the Fisher, and Juggernaut was caught out, left out in the cold, running around in circles fighting illusions. Now we're going to see the jump in. Big stun attempt, but there's going to be a nice BKB usage from HGK. Just going to go on Hansu instead. Looks like they're only going to be able to bring down the Lina at the cost of their Nyx. He's got dust against him, but there's no follow-through, actually. They're running. They're in retreat. They realize they can't do enough, and now Juggernaut, he's the only one that can do anything. He's running now. Oh, they start the fight. They tried to make something happen, but it's just too much against them now. The BKBs fall short, and Newbee.M, they get sent down. What was a game on the edge of a knife where I thought IG could honestly lose it. They pull out all the stops in the last 2 most critical fights, and as you can see, 34-22, IG pull ahead. That was just absolutely incredible. For the first 20 minutes of this game, even 30 minutes, they just looked like your average team. They just kind of played their game. They had a decent strategy. They executed on an average level, and that was fine. But these last couple of minutes, they showed their Tier 1 status. They showed what they could do in the clutch scenarios, and that was just a pleasure to watch. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Game 1 of Invictus Gaming versus Newbee Miracle. They're going to need a miracle to fight up against IG when they're playing like that. That was just awesome. But we're going to be going into Game 2 here. It's a best-of-2 series for the group stage here in iLeague China. And we've got 3 more IG games to go, so hopefully they're just like that. Hopefully for Newbee.M, they're able to put up a fight against it, but I would love to see more of that IG. That was just awesome. Anyways, going into Game 2 in just a couple of minutes here. Thanks once again for tuning in. If you enjoyed the commentary, look me up. It's twitter.com/blazecasting, and of course, beyondthesummit.tv as the coverage hub for all BTS content.